Hi, everybody. Welcome back to Suspenders Unbuttoned podcast. I'm Sarah.
And I'm
And
Julie.
I'm
And we're excited to welcome Ridge Banks. Welcome, Ridge.
Hi. Thank you so much.
It is really fun to have you here. We've been talking on Instagram for quite a while, so it's great to welcome. It's great for you to be here. So tell us, Ridge, you are a singer and a songwriter. What's going on right now for you?
Oh man, I got a lot of things going on. I'm here in Nashville. I got here about 6 years ago. I started a band here in Nashville. But here in Nashville, you need a whole bunch of people to play with because we all got our own bands and we all got our own music and all that stuff, right? And really, I've always wanted to tour and go, especially to Europe and things like that. And so maybe a year and a half ago, I was doing an interview on a radio station in New Zealand, 107 FM. This Galaxy, those guys are awesome. And I was talking about wanting to travel, and they said, man, you've got to meet this guy, Nick Blues. So he's from the UK, and he came out to visit me while I was performing here in Nashville and said, hey, man, we got an awesome, talented crew over there with a bunch of musicians, and I've been playing with them. Some of us are kind of semi-famous, and we would love to play with you. So the next time, you put a single out, lay down your guitar and your voice and see what we can do, and do some collaboration, which sounded so cool. And I'm like, oh, cool. If it works, maybe I'll come out and play with you guys out there, right? So a year and a half later, 6 singles later, and we've planned a tour for the whole month of August. I'm going to be out there, I think, 6.5 weeks. In fact, I leave in 6 days.
Wow.
I leave in 6 days to go to the UK. The first week we get together and play for the first time live together.
Right.
We have studios on both sides, Hidden Creek Studios over here and Deadline Studios in Leicestershire. And they both run on the same platforms, and it made it really easy. It was like we were in next door. Technology is amazing, just like what... just like what we're doing here. So I'm super excited because it's all kind of come to this in the year and a half, and we're going to have, I think, 18 or 16 different venues that we're going to be playing at all throughout the mid UK. I haven't even been there before, so I'm just so excited. And the guys that I've been playing with are just so cool. Nick, I was talking about, he's the bass player, but I got a harmonica player just for out there, and I play harmonica too. His name's Sean Clutterham, and Mark Haynes is the drummer, and we got an awesome rocker guitar player. His name's Harris, and something really special to our team is someone by the name of Nikki Evans out in the UK. She is a semifinalist for the X Factor, which is really big out there too, and she's also the lead in one of the biggest traveling musicals on the West End in London. It's called Blood Brothers, and she's Mrs. Johnstone, which is the lead. So she's been in that role for a long time, and she's sang with me. We released a duet that me and my wife wrote together, and she's been on some of the tracks, and we're hoping to get her out for a couple of those cool venues out there. So everywhere, ridgebanks.com, and of course I do something called Bands in Town. You can see everywhere that we're playing and all of that. So if any of you guys are going to be in the UK, for sure look us up. My wife's coming out for a week, and we're going to Ireland as well. So I'll be playing like around Dooland and Altaluna over there somewhere too.
So if people go to ridgebanks.com, they can see where you'll be, what date. Can they get tickets there? Or
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. And some of them are ticketed, but very low ticket prices, and some of them are free. You just come in and listen to us. We're going to do some live streams. I'm going to be in a couple hospitals playing for some patients, which I always really love to do. My wife is a songwriter and a singer, and I met her here in Nashville. So when she comes out there with us, we'll be doing some cool shows in between here and there too. So
She'll be singing with you too?
What's that? Yeah, so she's not going to be out there as long as I am. I don't even know if I'm going to like being out there that long. That's a long time to be away. But I'm really looking forward to it. And she's coming out for the last 3.5 weeks, I think. And then we finish our tour on this big boat, this big yacht that they're having a big party, and we're going to be playing on it. So lots of videos and cool things like that as we go along too. So
now you mentioned live streaming. So
Yes.
where can we look for that?
Let's see. I think it's a Hydrus Live. If you look on it, it's in October. I can't remember the exact date. It's either Thursday, Friday, or Saturday, maybe.
Okay.
And I'll probably be live streaming that all over all my platforms. And
Okay.
I think we might even have a couple local people that I've met here actually that are going to see us out there too. So
Oh, that's
it's just so cool to be in in a different country too,
Right.
and should be a blast.
So you're
Yeah.
hoping to live stream that to your platform. So what are your
Yeah, absolutely. I may live stream a lot of our performances, either on Facebook or Instagram or something like that. Even YouTube. I got my own YouTube channel too that we do, so that works as well. And doing some publicity around all of that stuff. So, man, it should be really fun. We have an opening band in all the venues.
Okay.
It would either be Wild Daisies and the Blackhearts or Julian Jones. Both of those guys are going to be opening for us, so we're going to do like an hour set of all original music and a few country covers.
Or are they in the UK?
What's that?
Are they coming from Nashville to join
No,
you?
so all these guys are local in the UK. So as we built this thing, so I call my band Ridge Banks and the Wall of Sound, and I always say once you're in it, you can't get out of it. Won't let you. And so you kind of need that in Nashville, and then out in the UK, it's hard, starting off to get everybody out there, and especially get them to 6.5 weeks is a long time to be away. So it actually worked out better for them to assemble there, and then I'm going to meet them out there. We call the tour the Foxes and the Cowboys.
Okay.
I'm the Cowboys, I guess, but I guess that's where in that part of England is where fox hunting started.
Okay.
Okay.
Although I don't know they have any more foxes left.
Yeah.
But that is where, so we're the Foxes and Cowboys tour.
Yeah, they don't quite have the wildlife we have.
No, they didn't. In fact, I just went to the Smokies, which isn't far from here, with one of my buddies, and we saw like 3 bear, right? And my buddies in the UK were like, "What? There's like nothing like that here anymore. That's like threatening like that." You've been there before?
I've not been there, but I've heard. Yeah.
I've heard that too.
Yeah, I've heard that too. Yeah, no, we just have warning signs like laying around. It's like young, bear, single bear hanging out around here. Just walk away.
Where are you guys?
Go ahead, Julie.
I'm in Minnesota.
Okay, you're in Minnesota.
He's in Minnesota with the Bears, and I'm in Rhode Island.
Cool. Cool. 2 places I really like.
Yeah.
We were just not far from there. My wife is from upstate Wisconsin.
Oh,
like an hour and a half north of Minneapolis, like way up there in the Indian Head.
Yeah.
I guess
Where's she
yeah,
from?
Exactly. Yep, exactly.
Where's she from up there?
Let's see, what's the name of Grantsburg?
By Grantsburg. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
Close to Pine City up there and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
My mom's from Pine City, so just across.
That's where we got married last year too. Yeah, that's where we got married last year. Was
you did. It's so beautiful in northern Wisconsin.
Oh, it's so beautiful.
Yeah.
It's so beautiful. We rented a place like on a little lake there, and made it perfect.
Lake country. Yeah, we were just up and down the North Shore last week, and so the bear signs were like out everywhere. So.
Oh yeah.
And speaking of northern Wisconsin, the bears are everywhere there too. So.
They are. They are when you're in the mountains, anyway.
Yeah. Okay, so tell us. I see that you have a few new music videos out on your YouTube channel.
Yeah.
So do you want to talk a bit about those?
Yeah, so a couple of my songs, I did some lyric videos, but they're a little more than that. They're really cinematic and very special with the songs. One of them is Hero, which I call a hero's tale when I released it, and that's just a beautiful song about finally reaching your dreams. I believe there's a hero in everybody, person God made you to be. I knew I was supposed to be on stage since I was a very young kid, but life gets in the way, and you don't always get there. So no matter where you are in your journey or how old you think you are, right? I finally I'm in the place where I really wanted to be, and that song represents kind of all of that. I like that song a lot. And then there's another very, very personal song that's called Doors that I
Okay.
released. And actually, it's a full-blown rock song. I would say I call my music rugged acoustic.
Okay.
And normally it falls under maybe as country as John Denver type thing. And then, but there's just some songs I'm really genreless and I love all music. So if I hear something that really gets me, I want to play that too. And especially when you have a band, it's really fun
Right.
to like really rock it out. It makes the show better. And so Doors is one of those rock songs that honestly I didn't even think I was going to I didn't think that was going to be a public song. That was just a song about some of my hardship growing up in abuse and stuff like that. And that has a lot to play in why it took me so long to get on stage,
Yeah.
with image issues and stuff like that. When you're not treated right when you're younger can really, really hold you up in whatever your destiny really is. So that's really what that song about is. And I just love hearing, it's one of my favorite things I've ever written is he now sees doors where he once saw walls.
Yeah.
So it's the same
Lyric.
thing. It's the same perspective there. And that's when you know you're on the healing path. So that song is very much about healing and very personal to me, which is why I don't have videos of myself in that. It's almost too personal for that. But
Right.
I really hope that it shines light on people's trauma, because that is truly one of my main goals in music is nothing can really heal in the dark. Can't heal. Someone just told me you're only as dirty as your secrets or something like that. And I thought same ideas that,
Right.
once you get these stories out, anything that you're ashamed of, that's a beginning of the healing. And so sometimes people come up to me and say, I don't know why I'm telling you this. I kind of do, because I put triggers in those songs to try to get those stories out. But if someone says to me, I've never told a human being this, or I've never told my wife this, or something like that's like the most brilliant moments of so far that I've experienced here in what I'm doing. It's because I know that, I don't have to heal them, but I know it's out there. And
Right.
so
Right.
they can
Yeah.
start on that path.
I mean, that's pretty amazing that you can put something out there into the world and it touches somebody.
Right,
Touch-
even if it touches just one person, total
Yeah.
success.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, so it's hard to judge your success when it comes to those things. I just
Right.
feel like I'm finally doing what God meant me to do.
Yeah.
And I fought it for a long time.
Right. So you're telling us
We all do,
about
I think.
your beautiful songs, and as a songwriter, what does your process kind of look like to write your songs?
I think mine's a little different than everybody's around. When you get to Nashville, especially, you determine whether you're a songwriter or you're an artist. If you want to put them in this category, all the songwriters will get mad because they're artists too.
Yeah.
But it's just how people see them and the
Right.
names they put on there and your focus. So you have to know what your focus is. Are you here to write a whole bunch of songs and maybe land one or two or something like that? Or are you here as an artist and what do you have to say? So I spent 10 years with a buddy of mine, Tom Stanton, who wrote more than half of the songs that I play now and still have in the hopper. He lives in Washington D.C. area, and we wrote for about 10 years before I actually got out here. We were working with second jobs and all that stuff, and we just realized he was a poet, I was a melody guy, and we would put them together. Man, I could tell they were really special. And what I consider myself the best at is actually putting them into a performance and a something that's really palatable and dynamic. So you don't get I get my OCD kicks in after a minute and a half of my own song. So I've got to do something, right?
Right.
So I had a lot of songs with him that we came up with when I got out here. And I mentioned before we were on air that I'm dyslexic. And all that means is that in this case is that I just can't do too much at one time. I can't have 100 songs. I can't have 20, 30 unfinished like hit songs. I mean, if I'm writing a song and at any time I don't think it's going to be an A song, it just goes in the file until I can make it that. So I want all my songs to be at a certain level. And truthfully, I wrote a bunch of songs when I was younger just about things and how cool it is and all that. But now I feel like I really want a message behind something. Not preaching, but like something that either makes you feel better or I don't know, gives you a motto to help you on the right path, maybe something
Right.
like that. So normally what I'll do is I'll find somebody here in Nashville that has something that I don't, or a vibe of exactly how I want that song to be, and I'll pick that person and say, hey man, you want to help me write this song? That's when I'm most successful. Sometimes I just sit down and write with people, but my inspiration comes all the time and I have to write it down when it comes. So to put pressure like, let's go write this about this, it normally doesn't work very well for me. And it makes me nervous and it's not fun, you know. So the people, I mean, there's people here that write 3 or 4 times a day, that write thousands of songs a day. I think it's amazing that they do it, and they're right. The more they write, the better maybe chance they have. But I can't do that. I have to have a really safe environment because I might be talking about some really, really deep stuff, and I need to feel safe with the people around me. So I normally write with people that I love, so I'll get to know them a lot sometimes before I'll write. Unless there's someone that's just really special to me. Maybe I don't know them, but right off the bat, I just love their music or I'm a fan of theirs. Of course, everything can be different. I don't think I've ever written a song the same as another. Sometimes it's a melody, sometimes it's the words, sometimes, put it together. In fact, my buddy and I used to love to do that. Like just say, hey, we never wrote a song this way. Let's write it backwards. Let's write it this way. And so it was really cool to have somebody so intellectually about that kind of stuff.
Right. So you mentioned inspiration and when it hits. So what do you do when that happens? I imagine you might have multiple ideas going at the same time. Do you have like a note on your phone? And
You have to write it down instantly, and
You
I
have to
can't
write
even
it
type
down.
it fast enough. I have to have pen and paper or something. You got to have it by your bed. You got to have it by any place. Matter of fact, I always get it when I'm mowing the lawn, man. There's this one tree that just must be so loving because every time I'm under it, I get all this like, oh, it's beautiful stuff. And so I have to turn it off, and now I got one in the garage or something. And I just write it down, and then I throw it in. I throw it in a giant thing, or I write. If it's really special, I'll put it in my phone, and I'll put like asterisks next to it, so I'll know like my best thing. I mean, you got to organize all your ideas too, or that makes it really hard to write with somebody if you're not prepared and have all that. So sometimes all these ideas will all come together, and I will literally put them in I'll put them in a file, like old school file with all the things and the notes, and so that everything is all there. Docs is a really cool thing, Word docs that we all use here, probably in Nashville, where we can just change our lyrics with people and stuff like that. But when it comes to inspiration, if you wait more than a few seconds, it's gone,
Right.
and it's gone for good. Yeah, no matter, even if it's the first or second or third time you thought of it, it's still gone. And then half of the stuff you write might not even be any good, but you still write it down, and then you still remember what happened. So I don't know. I've got so many notes and everything. All right, hold on. I got to show you guys something. Oh, this is my buddy.
Oh, I thought I heard somebody back there.
Look at that.
Oh my goodness.
Who is this?
Beautiful.
Oh, this is Marley.
Marley.
Hi,
Marley, you know you're on TV.
Oh my goodness.
Marley,
He's
like
so cool.
from
Marley would be way more famous than me if I just started an Instagram for him. Some of his brothers and stuff have like hundreds of thousands.
Cats of Instagram.
Oh, he's beautiful.
Yeah. I mean, who doesn't want to just sit and watch him?
Right.
That's all I do. So I don't know, but then I'd have no time to do my music.
You'd be too busy managing the Instagram for the cat.
Yeah, managing my Prince cat. I already do that pretty much, but not with pictures and all that all the time, So funny. In fact, he was supposed to go to somebody that had already 80,000 fans or something like that.
Oh my gosh.
I should send out her Christy Paws. She's the breeder of that cat, and it is the most magnificent animal I've ever had. Shout out to you, Christy. She's in Missouri. She's in St. Louis. If you want a really cool cat.
I love cats, so
I do too.
my husband
Well, I love
might
all animals.
not love this idea, but I will go on her.
Well, we'll be looking for Marley's Instagram page in the future.
All right. All right.
Okay, so let's talk to us a little bit about performing live. You mentioned that sometimes these songs are really personal and that you're not in the
Mm.
music videos, but are those songs going to be on tour with you?
Oh,
And
yeah. Yes, they
yeah,
are. Yep. They're going
okay,
to be on tour because we put them all together, and I want to rock out the stage too. So, yeah, I'm having a little bit, they'll have some country songs in there too. But yes, and on stage, that's the other thing. After I write a song, sometimes it takes me, man, I've got to play it so many times. I mean, I really do. I realize even in college, dealing with dyslexia, you got to just do things over and over and over. You almost
right,
have to be not thinking
Mhm.
in a way, but you still have
yeah,
to, have the energy of your song. And so I practice so much. And then finally, that's all I can do without being on stage. And then I get on stage and I don't think it's ever like
Right.
perfect. So some people here, man, they say I wrote this song today and they belt it out, and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I don't know. But that isn't how I do it. So I'm thinking of every little thing and how I'm doing it, and if I can't make it cooler along the way, and making it how I want. And so a lot of these songs I've been playing for a good 6 months, 8 months before you're hearing them, and then I won't record them
Mhm.
until I sing them for at least 2 years. Now, I'm cutting that down, but literally, like, they haven't, when I first got here, I'm noticing that time is cutting down.
Mhm.
But normally, I don't really, really have that song down until I've sang it hundreds of times on stage, live
right,
stage, 500, 600 times on stage. But I'm probably on the high end of that, which is why I don't have like hundreds. I mean, I have a lot of songs. I just learned how to release them all and do all that in Nashville.
Yeah.
I've only been here 6 years, so the first few were just learning what
right,
songs people respond
Mhm.
to, how
hmm,
to. What's beautiful about this place is you can get on stage every day and every night, and really work out all of your issues and heal along the way. One of my favorite songs I wrote, the first song I collaborated with the UK, is called One Note at a Time. And it's literally, I'm healing one note at a time.
yeah,
And that's how I felt on this stage, because the community here is just incredible. I mean, you think it's competitive because everybody's so good, but that's just in yourself. Everybody else is there to help you any way they can. Just like you guys, appreciate you so much doing this,
Absolutely.
because it's hard. It's hard to get out there. An independent label would put 2 million into every song. That's the minimum that they would put into just promotion.
Yeah.
right,
So that's a
That's a
lot.
lot.
yeah,
That's a
I'm not putting that much in.
Yeah. Yeah.
not even close. So, like that's a big difference. I think a number one hit's like 11 million.
Yeah.
That's what they put into. I mean, wow. So finding ways to do that without having that kind of financial backing is always
So
the
I
right.
really,
challenge.
really like how you talked about like you do the songs, you perform them live so many times. What is it that you love about live performance?
Oh man, and I'm better live than I am in the room now. It used to be, oh man, it'd be great if it just felt like you were in your living
Right.
room. But now it's a totally different ball game. I've had to raise some of the keys of my songs because I don't have enough power
Mm-hmm.
to sing them into the mic like I want to. And so you're adjusting all this stuff. There's certain things that people respond to, and then I do a lot of finger picking. So all that stuff starts to meld in there. I start coming up with different cool little things in between. And so it's just a process for me, a long one. And I don't deal so much with nerves anymore. But when I first got here, I was petrified. Petrified.
Yeah,
And I was a salesman that did presentations for doctors, all kinds of stuff. But when my heart was up there, man, and everyone's looking at you, man,
right,
I couldn't believe how scared I was. And a lot of that had to do with just my own issues I had to work through. And so you see that a lot on stage here in Nashville. You see people, and then 6 months later, you see them and go, whoa! They just like blossomed into everything they were supposed to be. And a lot of that has to do with healing, along the way
Right.
too. So all of us have a really good relationship like that here in Nashville. Never had so many friends so fast.
Well, that's really lovely to hear that the community is so supportive of each other. Yeah.
Especially men, because men don't talk about their feelings anywhere else in the country. It's not even
Yeah, we go
allowed.
to
Here we're
Nashville.
writing about them. So,
Yeah.
like, my relationships with men here are just so much better. And I'm so much closer with them. And it's healthier for all of us, too, because I talk about things that I can,
Yeah.
do like that. My wife was just writing with somebody that's probably 15 years younger. He just went through a terrible breakup, and he tells the whole story. It's like, wow, how healing is that? How
Right.
beautiful is that? They write a story, they write a song about it, but even if you don't, it's that light. You're getting everything out. I just think it's such a cool environment to
Yeah.
be in and live in,
It's
so I'm really happy I'm here.
really interesting to hear that behind the scene kind of piece because I mean
Yeah.
I think we've all heard a bit about like how competitive the music industry is
Hmm.
and that so it's wonderful to hear that supportive
It
nature of the
is.
artist.
But the people that put on all the rounds here are musicians
Right.
themselves. So they grab all the people. So you know what I'm saying? So sometimes I'm playing, sometimes I'm
Yeah.
hosting. But I'm still playing with some of my favorite friends, and there's probably easily 100 or 200 people at any time I can pull from just to say, hey, you want to come play, with me on this one or this one, and we all get our own independent shows, and sometimes they're just too long for one
Right.
person, and you need some other people to come in and play some songs. So everyone just loves the stage so much. Really, the only negative to Nashville is you don't make much money
Right.
in
Right.
music because everybody wants a
Mhm.
stage. So half the things you're doing, writers' rounds and stuff, are for free. And even when you're getting paid, it's not real big bucks, which is one of the reasons I can't play with my band so much here. Is not only because it's hard to get everybody together, but also it's hard to get paid enough to justify that unless you got videographers and all that kind of stuff. So you start getting out on the road, you start going other places. That's what they always say. You find get everything, all your connections here, but you make all your money outside of Nashville.
Okay.
And that's
Yeah.
probably the way
Right.
it is.
Okay. So you.
Unless you're playing at Nissan Stadium and all those kinds of
Yeah.
things, and then it doesn't matter where you are. Then
Right. Yeah.
you've
Okay.
made
So
it.
you've won some awards recently. You
Yeah.
won the Music Award for U.S. Artist of the Year. Um,
Hmm.
what else have you won?
I won the WSA award. That's a writer songwriting
Okay.
award, a worldwide songwriter award for Blues Catcher. That's my blues
Yeah.
song, which is just so much fun. That's like my whole band right there. And I just found out I was a finalist for the IAMA uh,
Okay.
for Beautiful Mistake, which is pretty
Oh,
cool. I wrote that song with a hit songwriter. He wrote Fancy Free for the Oak Ridge
Yeah.
Boys.
Okay.
okay.
And I released that on his 80th birthday at
Wow.
one of our favorite places. Oh, man. I hope Roy August is listening. He's a really cool guy and an awesome writer. He's so cool.
Well,
That's
congratulations.
I'm here.
yeah.
I know
Congrats.
it's so neat when you get to write with people, and in Nashville, you don't know who anybody is. I mean, the person at the grocery store, or maybe somebody famous,
Right.
they say, how do you get a musician off your door in Nashville? Pay for your pizza.
Yeah.
Because we all got all kinds of jobs,
Yeah.
Right.
all over the
Yeah.
place. You never know. And I think that might make the place way nicer and more polite, too, because you just never know who you're talking to. I mean,
Yeah.
almost anybody that's anybody here is not showing off.
Mm-hmm.
There's just a modesty that maybe comes with that makes
Right.
a
In
ma-
like a respect.
yeah,
Right.
makes some real deals. Yeah, it's probably because you may be famous, but they still aren't making a lot of money.
Right. Huh.
Sometimes that's the case too. So it's a very interesting environment. It's my favorite place I've ever lived. I used to move a lot, and every time I moved, it was about 4 years before I got like settled in. I'm working out here, I'm eating there, all this
Right.
stuff. Here it took like 4 months,
Wow.
and I had like 1,000 friends, and I knew them. And I knew, their struggles. I knew their songs, and I can't remember the last time I listened to the radio. All I listen to hours is my friends' songs. I sing my friends' songs,
Mhm.
my wife's songs, my songs, and it's just really it's really cool. It's really
I
cool.
love
That
it.
that
Yeah.
that's a beautiful statement and what a connection. So you talked about
Right.
how you
Hmm.
kind of always knew you wanted to be on stage, but who are some of the musicians that really influence you or inspire you?
Jim Croce and John Denver were my two favorite people. I sat and tried to learn all their little picking and everything as a kid. It was like perfect for massive, like kind of OCD. Maybe I was that. We didn't get diagnosed back then, you know. So that type of picking and stuff, I just went crazy over. And then Eric Clapton came in with some blues, and then even Ed Sheeran with some of his rhythm and stuff like that. Stephen Stills was a giant. I was a giant fan of his when he did his
Mm.
single stuff. So all these alternate tuning guys,
Mhm.
like, and really, I've designed like my band and my show more like Dave
Okay.
Matthews.
Okay.
So same songs, but totally upbeat and different, and not all, verse, verse, chorus, verse
Right.
type things. You know what I mean? Like something that's, I don't know, I've probably gotten more into those things a little bit since I came to Nashville. My songs are not 6 minutes anymore.
Right.
There's certain things that you really should do. Get to your lyrics right away, not 45 minutes of a pre-thing before you start singing, things like that. You know what I mean? But
Right.
it took me a while to even know what to do. I mean, if you release a song, if you don't plug it on the radio, if you don't do all the things that you're going to do, no, not very many people hear it. I'm really amazed at how few things get heard without publicity of some kind,
Right.
without promotion of some
Yeah.
kind. You
So,
know.
what is that process like for you when you release a song? How do you get it to the radios?
So I use a guy named, I'm glad you asked, because I use a guy named Stephen Foster, and he is awesome, and
Mm.
pay somewhere around $400 for him to send my song to every radio connection that he has. And when he's
Okay.
done, he sends me all the connections. So honestly, I could do it myself after that, but it's just so much work, and there's so little you can delegate
Mhm.
that I
Yes.
just feel like that's so worth it. In fact,
Mm.
almost everything that's come has come from some radio station he started me at. So even Galaxy 107 out in New Zealand we were talking about, that came from a connection through Stephen Foster.
Okay.
So I feel like there's a few people out there's quite a few people, and you can pay a lot more than that and get into even bigger radio stations and all of that. So it's one of those things. It's there for $400, but you could be easily paying 10 times that
Right.
if you were trying to hit the biggest radio stations in the world. You know what I'm saying? So
Yeah.
anyway, that's one of the things I do with every release. I normally do something with Spotify to try to get it on a playlist of some sort. So I'm either looking to do that, or there's so many companies that rip you off and
Yeah.
just do bots and all that stuff. So I'm really careful about the people that I use for those things, and a lot of that's just throwing money away, really, because but it looks good, because what I'm trying to do is get to a point where I can be booked in big festivals or big venues, and so you kind of gotta make yourself look good all
Yeah.
over the thing. I hate to say it, but it's bells and whistles
Yeah.
sometimes.
Right.
Where you're really trying to make everything look
Yep.
look big and all of that. So I do some of those things. Of course, I send them in for some of the competitions too. Send them in to do things like that, and
Yep.
then you know pay pluggers to do certain things. But I mean, I'm probably only spending 1,000, fifteen
Hmm.
hundred bucks on promotion on for each song. But still, that doesn't include creating it, recording it, and
Right.
all of that.
All
So,
that.
and that can range here. You could just have you could be doing 400 or 500 bucks a song, or you could be doing $4,000 or $5,000 a song, depending on which studio you picked and what how good a service you want. Some of the big I don't go to a really big studio here. Hidden Creek has been incredible for me, but some of these places will bring in, and I've always had my own
Mhm.
musicians, so
Yeah.
anything that I've recorded on my albums, I want to make sure if you come and see me live, it sounds like that.
Right.
You know, I mean, maybe the guy that played that won't be there, so someone else, but it will still be cool. And maybe we'll have a different instrument. When I started the band, I had a mandolin player.
Oh,
Okay.
Shout out to Crawdaddy out there.
nice.
And he was awesome, man. He made it sound all bluegrassy.
Yeah.
So I kind of like, I play a banjo too, which hasn't quite reached all of my music yet, but I really like the bluegrass influence. That was something I didn't tell you when I was talking about influence. Before anything,
Bluegrass.
my uncle was in a bluegrass band, and I was like 4 or 5, spitting into a jug, like a bass jug.
Yeah.
So that was like my first love was actually bluegrass music. So,
Okay.
so that's kind of thrown in there too.
Yeah, your whole life. You've been.
Yeah, exactly. Yep.
Yeah. Okay, so can we find you on Spotify?
Yes, you can. I'm Ridgebanks on Spotify, and you can find me there. You can find me anywhere else you stream as well, from Amazon to Apple, any place you stream.
Perfect.
And I also have my website, ridgebanks.com, as well as a Ridgebanks in the Wall of Sound YouTube channel too that you can check out, which is pretty cool. It has
Right.
those new lyric videos on there.
Yeah, I found those so that I could watch those. Yeah.
They're pretty
Yeah,
cool.
they're very good.
And I did the Doors one myself.
I love it.
Oh, okay.
So that was like my first video. I mean, like, all I came here to do is play.
Right.
And every day I have a different hat on.
Right.
I mean, expect that. If you're on the artist side of things, like, you got to build a website. You got to have merchant. You can buy merchandise on my website. Set that. You got to have all these things, and that was not what I thought I had to do.
Right.
When I
You just came to play and sing.
I was just going to be a rock star. I was going to show up. We always say this thing like, wait till they get a load of me. Yeah, okay. Everything's going to be different. And so you kind of got to grow out of that a little bit too,
Right.
to really get somewhere here, because we all come with our own massive delusions. Without them, we probably wouldn't be here. But at some point, you got to think about what you really want. And
Right.
let
Yeah.
me pull that off.
Ridge, would you play a favorites game with us?
A favorites game?
Yes.
Okay.
It's not really a game. Just answer.
It's not.
We just ask you some questions about your favorite things. Like, do you
Okay.
have a favorite movie?
Do I have a favorite? Tommy Boy.
Okay. I feel like my husband might say that one too.
How's everybody doing? Yeah, it's the only guy on every Christmas, every Halloween. That's the only thing. I have a whole Chris Farley, like Matt Foley outfit.
Oh, that's
I
hysterical.
love that. That's perfect. Do you have a favorite TV series or something you're currently binging?
What am I watching? I'm watching Sneaky Pete.
Oh,
Have you ever seen Sneaky Pete?
I've not seen it. No.
I never even heard of it, but it's really good. It's got that BC guy. I think that's how you say his name. He's a really interesting dude. That's what I've been watching. But I don't know if that's my favorite or anything like
That's
that. I do
exactly
like
what I
watching series like that.
Right.
I'm beginning to like that more than movies. It almost feels like a movie should be like 6-7 hours.
Right.
Yeah,
Right.
I know.
You know,
Yeah,
right? And so
I
you
do.
watch one movie and you're like, what?
That's
That's
it.
it? I know. So I do kind of like the ones that do that.
I agree. I do
Do
love
you have-
binging a series. So.
I do too.
Yeah.
I do too. Yeah. Do you have a favorite hobby when you're not doing all this music?
I'm a whitewater kayaker, but I've kind of put that aside a little bit because even a broken hand is like a minor injury in that. So I think maybe my days of being in the one of the things I do now is I take care of bonsai trees.
Uh-huh.
So I have like 10 of these bonsai trees, Korean hornbeans, and all
So
these
you went,
different
like,
trees.
The complete opposite of white.
Yeah. Right. Oh yeah. I'm actually It's so zen and peaceful. I've got a tree that's like 175 years
Amazing.
Wow.
old. It is magnificent, and
I bet.
so when I lived in Washington D.C., I had a teacher there. Ducky Hong was his name. I'm sure he's not listening, but still, he was like a Mr. Miyagi man. He knew everything about all these trees, and every weekend I would just learn all these incredible things. Maybe have a really green thumb I never had before, but I love trees and all that kind of stuff. So probably wouldn't have guessed that one, huh?
No, actually,
No.
I think it's fantastic.
So music. I'm going to ask you too. Do you have a favorite song of yours that you've ever written, or that's yours, and a favorite song that's not yours?
My favorite song that's not mine is One Man
Oh,
Band by Old
yeah,
Dominion. I play it as well, and I love the version that I play it, but it's one of my, I don't want to be a one man band. I don't want to be a rolling stone alone, putting miles on a rundown van. Baby, we can take our own show on the road, lay down a beat, carry the tune. We'll get tattoos, we'll trash hotel rooms. Baby, take my hand. I don't want to be a one man band. Baby, take my hand. I don't want to be a one man band.
iconic and classic.
That's my wife's
I
favorite.
love that.
I play all my songs, and then she goes, "Play my favorite." It's not even my song.
Thanks. All right, so what's your...
My favorite song that I've written,
Mhm.
oh, it depends on. Doors is probably my favorite song, words wise.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful Mistake might be one of my favorite songs to play
Yeah.
out. Everyone knows it in Nashville and sings it with
Uh-huh.
me, and all the different harmonies that come out. And then if it's a band song, it's Half a Mile to Normal. Half
Okay.
a Mile to Normal is just rocking all the way through.
Yeah.
My favorite band song for sure.
You might have the best music answer ever we've ever gotten.
Oh yeah,
Yeah.
I love all those
good.
choices and the spontaneous performance of an
Absolutely.
iconic song.
I know
Very
what the
good.
clip is going to be.
That's right.
Uh,
Well, when I said it, I couldn't tell if you guys knew it or not.
yeah, oh, I knew it. Yeah,
Julie always
Good.
knows. Sometimes it takes me a second
I
to
have
figure
all
it
the
out, but
old
yeah.
school albums here. So, yeah, absolutely.
Love that one.
Okay,
That's a good one.
Ridge, tell everybody one more time
Yeah.
where can they follow you on social media?
Instagram, Facebook, all at Ridgebanks. I'm the only one so far. Also on YouTube and ridgebanks.com. If you want to know where I'm playing all over, it's all over those places, but it's all coming from bands in town. So you can follow me on that, and they'll send you an email every time I play something.
Oh, love that.
Perfect.
Love that.
Yeah.
Well, thank you so much for joining us
Thank
tonight.
you guys. It's so much fun.
Have a wonderful time in the UK.
I can't wait. All right. Thanks so much,
Can't
you
wait to
guys.
see some posts. And thank you everybody for watching and listening, and we will see you next time. Bye bye.
All right.
Bye.
Bye bye.